when I first played Malong in 2006, Asian.
Which he's young then, right?
Yeah,
he must be 15.
He was around 16. This was in the Asian Games, and he beat me 3-0, hands down. Post the match, Lee Guliang talks to him for 30 minutes in the same very place.
Yeah.
Where we are sitting in the gallery and we are watching. Man, did I win or did he win?
Okay, next episode, and boy oh boy do we have a special guest for you, the king of Indian table tennis. Very, very good to have you on here. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you guys.
Thank you so much
Daily.
for making some time for us. This is great. I guess first question I want to ask actually, your Commonwealth gold medal, where is that? Is that in your house? Is that proudly on the wall, or is that stored away under the bed?
No, my dad is pretty, he's been a very proud father.
Yes.
So when we moved into a new house in 2004, there was a place for the TV. He took that away and built a huge shelf, or let's say
Cabinet.
Like a display.
Yeah. Display of all the medals, all the trophies that me, my younger brother, and himself we had got over the years.
Yeah.
So it's a huge cabinet in the living room.
I was going to say it must be the whole living room with all those trophies.
Yeah, we'd have just 3 of like the Bristol Open Junior 2006 probably runner-up as well. Yeah. Whereas your trophy cabinet's probably the size of my house, I would imagine.
Kamal, you must come from a table tennis family then. If you said your dad has played, then he's had trophies.
Yeah, so that's how I've been introduced to table tennis. That's because my father and my uncle were playing table tennis as young kids, but at a very early age they turned into coaches because they figured out that they were not good enough.
I'll just make the best player in India instead. How about that?
So they turned into coaches, and then when we were born, and almost by the age of 2, 3, I remember going to the club with them. But of course, at that age, we were just being around, and the bigger girls would take care of us. They would babysit us and stuff like that. By the age of 4, I started playing, and by the age of 7, 8, I grew a strong liking to it. So if anybody had to ask me what if not a table tennis player, I said, I don't know. I never got an option.
Yeah.
I just lived and breathed it from the age of 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really interesting, yeah.
How has Indian table tennis kind of changed? It's changed drastically, I'd imagine, throughout your career. What's been some of the biggest changes, do you think?
So when I started playing for the national team in 2002, 2003, early 2003, India was, in Asia we were ranked around 11, 12. In the world we were ranked around 36 to 40, in between somewhere there. We were playing the second division. Back then the world championships were like first division, second division, top 24 teams, and then the next 24 teams. So we were always playing the second 24 teams, and we always wanted to win and get a chance to get into the first division. So that's that. And we never made it. We were never close to even making it until like 2014 or somewhere around there. So and from there, especially after 2016, after Rio Olympic Games, when 4 of us qualified for the Rio Olympic Games from India, 2 boys, 2 girls, there it started to have a change in the let's say the table tennis scenario in India. Until then, I was a lone warrior. I was
carrying the boats on your own. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in Europe. I moved into Europe because I felt like I had to improve, and that was my chance to be on the circuit playing there. And also, it was very cost effective and time effective, because every time I came back to India and went into tournaments to Europe, I was just losing so much of time and money. So I made a base in Europe, started playing there, and slowly over a period in time, watching me improve, the other Indians slowly started getting in there. And ITTF had invested into a few of the youngsters. Back then, the youngsters were Somjit Ghosh, Harmit Desai, and G. Satyan.
Not a bad investment.
Not a bad investment at all. And they put them in Sweden, in Falkenberg, and these guys started doing well, and all of us slowly got together. And I would say I've been pretty fortunate to continue at a time when those guys were peaking. You know, so then I had a team together. Until then, it was more or less like, okay, I was in the top 100, but my teammates were around 250.
Someone
300.
to push you and to train
Yes,
with and to be around.
Yeah, not just that. Even when we're playing matches against some other teams, so it could happen that, you know, I could lose a match, but still these guys would
Can
come
support
out.
you and
can
help and
support
bring
me.
you through.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that slowly started developing, and by the time, so 2016 was the first time the Indian table tennis got into the Olympic Committee, where the Olympic Committee started funding us, and at the same time, around 2017 was the first season of UTT. So I think these changes came together at the same time, helping us form a good structure and giving the youngsters a fantastic platform to do well. So the first season in 2017, the best players from India were G. Satyan and Manika Batra. They went on in 2018 to become, you know, who they were. Then in 2018, the best players from India were Manav Thakur and Archana Kamath. Manav Thakur world number 1, Archana Kamath 4th in the Youth Olympic Games. So slowly and steadily, people got the right kind of exposure. And now I feel like I spent so many years in Europe looking for this kind of an exposure, this kind of a setup. And now India is slowly getting in there.
Wow.
Yeah, we were saying it's really one of the great things about UTT is the foreign players and how that's controlled, because I guess similar in football, right? In England, in football, we buy the best foreign players and then your whole team is foreign.
No, back then, back in the 90s when Beckham was playing, I think that was when you still had the restrictions in the English Premier League, where you were allowed four foreigners, and then Beckham got the chance, and Scholes, even Scholes and Giggs were foreigners because they were not from England. So that's I think getting those foreigners here, of course, we are always traveling. We are there, but when the foreigners come here, especially players like Aruna Quadri, Alvaro Robles, and they are on a team, the youngsters are able to, you know, sit on the same table with them,
Learn from them.
talk to them. You know, learning is still way ahead. I would say the psychological part where you're so intimidated. Oh, Aruna Quadri, you know, you never go up to him and say, hey, hello, I would like to, you know,
just to bring them to the same level of being in the hotel, being around them. I understand what you mean.
And then you start to feel, okay,
he's just a human being.
and I don't need to, of course, I respect him as a player, what he's done, but not beyond that, saying that there's no chance I cannot reach him, or he's not beyond.
Sort of gets them to think, why not me?
Why not me?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it gives that belief. So all the kids now coming in India training can go, I want to get on a UTT team. That's my goal, you know, and that's an amazing goal to have.
Exactly.
It will motivate you every day in the training hall.
Exactly.
And off the table as well, just seeing them in and around, what do they eat for lunch? How often are they rehydrating? What do they do for recovery?
The gym,
Those 1% kind of little bits of
what are they
information.
thinking? Like, just to understand, okay, before this match against, let's say, G. Satyan, how is he preparing? What happened that match before? You get those insights. You know, you're so up close to those top players where you clearly can see, okay, this is what is being done and this is right, and what I am doing, reflecting on yourself and say, okay, I'm doing some things right. I'm probably not doing this and this right. Let me try and get these things sorted.
100%,
One thing that we really liked as well is the mixed teams. So putting women on the same pedestal, because they are unbelievable. And having, the points that the women earn are exactly the same as the men, and they go towards one single target. We absolutely love that here.
Yes. You know, also the pay parity is similar. There's no difference as much.
Oh, that's really good.
That little bit in the Indian circuit also, it's been pretty similar. Like when we play for companies, we get the same salaries. It doesn't depend if you're a boy or a girl. What is your ranking? It's more or less like, okay, you do the job and you get paid the same way. So I think the format, the first 2 seasons, this format has been there from the 3rd season. The first season we had 9 matches. Matches went on for 4.5 hours. Midway through the match, you would be wondering, oh, where are we? What's the score? How many matches left? You know, you would lose track even while playing. Then the second season, we had 7 matches. And the third season, we have 5. And I think this is really crisp, interesting. you have the possibility to play a foreign player, you have the possibility to play an Indian player. The mixed doubles is the one you have to play with a mixed team, like a foreigner and, and an Indian. I think it gives a nice way to strategize your team, build your team, think about, okay, against which player should we try and get our players, against whom I would have a better chance, against whom I would not. So I think that the girls and the boys, the coaches, everybody is working together in as one unit. So that's the fantastic part here.
Just to talk about UTT in general as a whole, you must feel almost quite proud as one of the more experienced guys involved in it, and also obviously being Indian, you must feel quite proud being involved and seeing how it's grown, and also not only that, being in Chennai, your home city as well, right, which is special for you this season.
Yes, very much. And also in the initial years, also helped the UTT get in touch with the foreign players, trying to understand what they need, how UTT can bring those players to India, and helping the foreign players understand, yes, India, these guys are serious, they want to go in for a long period in time, they're very professional. So in the beginning I had to do this, and after the second season I think they established their standards and their place in the market, and now I can clearly see that most of the foreign players who have played always want to come back. Apart from some more new players who are always looking, hey, can we get a chance to play in the Indian League? But it's just unfortunate that every team has only one foreigner male and one foreigner female. So let's see how we can incorporate more and more people into the...
I think UTT as well, as you said, they've really thought about the player experience and how they make that a really great experience. But I also think they've really thought about the spectator. If someone's watching on TV or if someone's in the crowd, how do we deliver the best possible product? Short form matches, pyro, lights everywhere. You get to a golden point and a massive siren goes off. It's really engaging as a spectator.
It's a fantastic event, I would say. It's great entertainment, and people who know table tennis enjoy it a lot more. Of course, table tennis is for an outsider to come into UTT and see what table tennis is. It's a different format. It's the points, the golden system. It's a bit different. But then people who have played or who know table tennis, for them it's the heart rate is really high. Every fifth minute you're at a high where the game is going to end, and and then three games only for each player. So even though if you're 2-0 up, you still want to win the third one. And when you lose the third one, like we did against Delhi, I was feeling bad. Oh man, I couldn't get that third game. So, but actually I won the tie. It was 2-1. But still I feel like
you wanted to add more to it. Yeah.
I love the intensity of all the teams and how professional it is, and every team wants to win. Every single point is so crucial. The bench are jumping up and down. There's so much intensity to UTT, which is awesome, and I think that does help with the structure and the format, because it's let's be honest, sometimes you can watch table tennis, a best of 7 match.
Even as a table tennis fan, it can get boring.
It can get quite tough. You like the 7th set when it's juiced in the 7th. Oh my God, what's going to happen here? But I feel like UTT with that type of format is making it engaging often. There's more engaging moments, golden point, etc.
There with especially the bench. You have 15 people on the bench.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like really intense.
It's like
really
must
be intimidating
it's like
for
a football match.
And
then the physio is there, the team management is there, sparring partners are there. The team consists of 6 players and 2 coaches. So the bench is really big, and it's so much energy when you're in that court. And every time you win a point, your bench is so loud, and and they're pretty close also. So you connect to them very well, and also the audience, the ones on the sides, they're pretty close into the action. So you can actually feel, you can hear what we are talking about, and you can actually feel what we feel.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part for the spectators.
Yeah, you can really
It's very
connect.
nice.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
lucky, weren't we? Because we got a chance to sit down on that courtside seats
Yeah.
on one of the matches, and like, yeah, amazing, like different perspective as well. Like you say, being close, you almost feel like you're almost in the court, really.
Yeah.
You're literally
Yeah.
right there, so
Yeah.
you can see the spin, you see like the more fine details of things, and obviously the emotion as well. It was really cool.
Yeah, we got to see Alvaro Robles versus João Monteiro. And obviously Europeans, we were
Yes.
like, yes. But
Yeah.
it was just to see it so close, how good they were. It was a completely different dynamic when, as opposed to being way up in the sky and you can't really
exactly.
see
You can hear the ball, and you can actually literally see where they're hitting the ball and how much of acceleration each shot has, and how much of perfection.
Yeah.
How every shot is executed with so much of perfection that you can't see that from such far.
No.
space.
Yeah, you know what I love about table tennis right now? In like 2018 or so, when plastic balls started to change in 2015 or 2014, there was a lot of similar styles. Everyone was doing the banana flick, kick, whatever. Now there's so much variation in tables. There's lots of different styles. You've got Truls doing his crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You've got the girls on the Indian team with the pimples and stuff,
Felix.
which is creating all sorts of stuff. Felix. Yeah, more players now starting to get some creativity, and it's really making it enjoyable.
If you had unlimited transfer budget and you could bring in one foreign player to UTT, who would it be?
2 years ago, when the WTT star contender was announced in Goa, and Malong had put his entry in, people just flocked to watch him play. But unfortunately, he cancelled. So I think still to date, he would be one of the players.
Yes.
Whom I guess any part of the world.
He's just incredible.
That's
isn't
a good
he?
answer. Yeah.
Did you see there was a great clip from Paris where he came off of a team match and they're about to walk out to the back and there's just a kid screaming at him, Malong, 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 and he just signs a ball or a back case for him and this kid just loses his mind.
Sharath probably gets that all the time in India.
No, but it's like this, especially for kids. For them, you know, we are role models. We are superheroes.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
when we are able to just go, we just need to smile at them.
Yeah, exactly.
We just need to smile at them, give them a pat on the back. That makes their life.
Absolutely.
It just- and they feel like, yeah, okay, I want to be like that one part of the day. So I think, of course, we are role models, but at the same time, we are representing the sport.
Yeah.
So we need people like that who actually sit down, engage with fans, and that's important, I think, for every sports person.
With the new setup in India, the structure's much better. There's, I've heard there's over 1 million players playing throughout India. Do you think it's possible to create a Marlong from India?
It will take us time, but I'm pretty sure we can get in there because we are not less on population. So finding a talent like that and
Do you think that's what it is? You need to be born talented. Like, Marlong's obviously hit a ball probably more than anyone else as well, and I guess Van Dong and most Chinese players have, right? They've played so much, but is there something extra to it? Is there a talent? Is there something you're born with? Do you think?
There's a lot extra to it. When I first played Malong in 2006, Asian.
Which he's young then, right?
Yeah,
He must be 15.
He was around 16. This was in the Asian Games, and he beat me 3-0, hands down. Post the match, Lee Guliang talks to him for 30 minutes in the same very place.
Yeah.
Where we are sitting in the gallery and we are watching. Man, did I win or did he win?
You see that a lot with
I've
the
seen
Chinese
that.
players
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And they're like, they're obviously like, they've won the game, but they're like, okay, it wasn't perfect. I need to explain this, this, and this. That's how you did wrong. That's what you need to do better the next game. Like, and it's just so intense, right? You see them, you're like, it's like telling him off. It's like him being back at school or something.
Yeah, and he was so talented back then. No, he still is. But at that age, they knew that he's going to be the next one. But actually, in fact, they were wrong for a long while. He won his first World Championships only in 2015. 2006 was this, and 2015. 9 years later, he won his first World Championship title.
True.
He kept losing to Wang Hao.
Yeah, Zhang GK would
Zhang GK would beat him. He never made it there.
Yeah.
But I think the champion in him to persevere through the hardships, improve adapt to a lot of changes, because he is like in today's world, we are very few from that generation who still play the game as it was played back then. Running a lot with our forehand, trying to finish the game with our forehand. Backhand is more to, keep it, keep the game in play. Yeah. And he is still doing it so good.
Yeah.
To be at the top of the world with doing something which was done 30 years ago, that means he's
Extremely
able to
difficult.
adapt. Yeah, he's able to adapt, and adaptability is one of the most important qualities of a champion.
Is adaptability a mindset? Is it something you're born with? Is it what is?
It's a mindset. It's a mindset.
Can-
You're not born with it. It's how you grow. It's your environment and your ability to accept the changes.
Yeah.
And accept that things are not working, and say, okay, I need to unlearn what I learned, and I need to start from zero again. So when when I came in, I've me and Malong, I think and even Timo, we've gone through all the changes.
Yeah.
38 to 40 balls. Service rules.
Yeah.
Where
Move that arm.
where the left arm was in front. After that, or before that, was the 11 points, 21 to 11.
Speed glue.
And then the speed glue. Then ball
again.
Yeah,
Ball,
celluloid.
yeah.
Celluloid balls. And with this change in the balls, the rubbers also changed. The technology of the rubbers changed. And there was a new stroke back in 2010, 2009, around 2008, called the Chiquita banana. Over the table. You come there, you start over the table. And we are like trying to step around, and the ball is like going.
Just get any direction.
Yeah, it just didn't exist before. It just wasn't done. Yeah.
You couldn't do it. You want to touch shots, they just come in on the other side of the court, and they're like, what do I do now? So I need to work on the backhand. I need to accept that, that I cannot play my backhand the way I did, and I need to start working on it. So did those changes. And then by 2018, again, the technology of the rubbers kept evolving, and it kept getting tackier and tackier and tackier. So I think through all these changes, this generation has, especially Malong, has gone through all those changes and still being top of the world.
Yeah, impressive.
That's something unique. Yeah.
Could you imagine the results and medals he'd have if, let's say, he did beat Wang Hao in the early 2008? And imagine if he was in the Olympics then. He could have had 2012. He could have had he could have had 4 Olympic golds.
Probably.
Yeah, he got 2 right back to back, which was insane.
Kamal, thank you so much. This has been fascinating. I mean, amazing just to meet you, but also fascinating to kind of pick your brains about where you see kind of your career trajectory, and also kind of the really good place that Indian table tennis is in at the moment. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, and hope you had a good time in India.
It was
We've loved
amazing,
it.
amazing.
Absolutely
Loved it.
Thanks so much, Kamal.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot, guys.
So here we are then, guys. We're with Head of Digital at UTT, Sarthak. Sarthak, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is my first podcast, so hopefully it goes well.
Love it. And I just want to say thanks so much for bringing us out in here and believing in us to create content with you guys, because we've had such a blast. You've been so flexible, and I know it's difficult getting the players and that, but some of the content we've got here has been fantastic, and we're loving UTT. We're loving every minute.
Yeah, I think that's the aim. Ever since this started in 2017, is to try and get table tennis out there in the country. And to be able to do that, we're trying to also sort of change with the times. And you guys are probably one of the best in the world.
Appreciate it.
So we've done a bunch of stuff with Adam in season 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a couple of videos with him this season as well. But that's the thing, right? Social media is where everything's at. And that's the only sort of way forward. And I've already seen the bunch of content that you've created, and yeah, that's it.
As you said, with UTT, it's very innovative, and we love the format and the changes. Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to be different to what's happening right now? To the golden point right now, I love that concept. Is that something you're trying to do, just to be different and try and take it to the next level?
Yes, certainly. And the thing is, it adds an element of sort of, fun at the end. Where there's like a sort of like buzzer going off, so the crowd gets possibly involved and they're suddenly paying attention, even if they haven't been for like 3 points, and then there's a buzzer going off. And In fact, Petra Sorling, she's the president of the ITTF. We did an interview with her a couple of days back, and she was actually talking about the golden point, and she's like, that's a sort of great concept, because even for the players to just have played 10 points, it's just about that 1 point then.
Absolutely.
And it teaches them a lot. So I think it's two-dimensional. One is there is a sort of fun element to it, and also, I mean, like she said, athlete building. So
it's immediately understandable to an audience member. It's like, this point means everything.
Yes,
So
yes.
you immediately dialed in. What if they miss the serve? What happens? You're a big point.
There's also this thing as well, when it's like 7 or 8 or let's say someone's 10-6 up, or is it going to go to a golden point? You know, there's almost like a belief amongst the players as well, and the crowd, oh, this could happen. And then, you know, when it does get to that 10-10, it's literally on that point.
There was a couple. We've seen quite a lot of the matches, and we were in the crowd for one of the games, and there was a few of the guys who are like reserve players who are here training, and if someone gets injured, they're going to step in. And those guys were watching the game, and quite often I saw when it went to the golden point, even those reserve players who used to be in around tournaments, used to the WTT events, all this stuff, they were getting their phones out and recording. They're like,
Wow.
oh, it's going to golden point. So even those pro players who are around all these crazy events all the time, they're excited by the difference and the change of it. So it's really cool.
yeah.
I was going to say, we definitely know that the players like it, and they said the same word over and over again when we asked everyone, pressure, and they were like, I want to be serving at it. I definitely don't want to be receiving serve on it. So they're loving it as well. It means something different to them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the idea. Even with, I think Adam spoke to you all earlier, the venue, the sort of pitch itself, the
Yeah.
FOP, as we call it, we've just put in a lot into that. And hopefully we are able to take the league to different cities every year, from 6 franchisees to 8. I know for a fact that a couple more wanted to join, possibly get that done next year. This year, scheduling was a bit difficult. Like you've seen, scheduling at the event itself has been difficult with players, this and that, because of the Olympics this year. So usually we're done by this stage. We're through by July. But yeah, I mean, the plan is to make it bigger and better.
Amazing.
With each of the teams, they're allowed 1 foreign male player and 1 foreign female player. Who gets to decide who those players are? Is it the clubs themselves get to reach out to those players, or is it the league? Do players sign up to somewhere and
The
then
league,
divide
the
it?
league, the league,
Okay.
the league. So it's not like a tournament like the Premier League where the teams are sort of consistent through and through. One player is sort of retained by every team, and then the others are up in a draft, not an auction, but a draft.
Of course, with UTT, you guys do a lot of great media. Like, I love the social media. Every team has a really big social media following, which is really cool. And I like how each team is pushing that as well, right? So it's really creating this online digital hub for India table tennis and the world.
Yeah, I think that is the idea, and what we're trying to do is, especially on UTT channels, trying to keep it sort of going through the year, because when we started out 5 years ago, the league in the sense is relevant for just 1 month in the year. So we had to pivot after the 4th season and then become a page that sort of is the hub for Indian table tennis.
Yep.
So effectively we cover all tournaments that Indians are playing in through the year. That is the goal or the core sort of message of the league. The Vita Rani ma'am and Neeraj sir, when they founded the league, the idea was to be able to take Indian table tennis to the next level. So we're trying to do that year long now. I mean, thankfully, we've got people like you who've come, created a bunch of content, and hopefully that'll keep us sort of like relevant in every sort of realm through the year. And I think the end goal is to create the best content we can. Quality over quantity always. So that's what I always tell everyone. Yeah.
I saw a lot of the stuff, obviously, from Paris as well, like posting about how the Indian teams and players are getting on, which was really cool.
Yeah,
and I was going to briefly say, when you were talking about the teams and social media and stuff, I think it's really cool, like how the teams have their own badge and own kit and identity. I think it's really cool. And obviously teams play in their national team kit at events and stuff, but I think it's a bit different. It almost has like a football feel about it, and like a culture around that club with the different colours and the badge, and I think it's really cool and quite unique in table tennis actually.
For sure, it's kind of like Americanizing things. You know how NFL and cricket, the big teams, the big sports, and bringing it into table tennis. Yeah, I love it. Am I right in saying so? Each team has kind of its own CEO, manager. You know, it's not just like the players playing represent an idea of a team. There actually is like a behind the scenes huge investment to each team.
Yes. So most of the teams in the league at this stage have investments in other sports as well.
Right. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. The Pune team, the Mumbai team, both have kabaddi teams, which is a huge sort of deal in India right now.
Wow.
They have chess teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively, their ecosystem is also sort of flourishing through the year. And then there's 2 months dedicated to table tennis. And then there's kabaddi, then there's chess. So I mean, I think it sort of brings the whole thing together.
This is something
nicely.
that I think could be done more in table tennis, is like utilizing other sports, how they can connect to table tennis. And like you say, that 2 months or however long the UTT goes on through the summer, that club or that page is then dedicated to table tennis and it's focused on that, but it still has a broader audience of other sports, maybe cricket, maybe chess, whatever it is. And that way you're then bringing in external people as well from other sports. They might go, oh, you know what, this table tennis is great, and it's actually connecting people that way into the sport.
Absolutely.
Which is really cool.
And it definitely is connecting more people to the sport. All the players we spoke to have said when UTT launched in 2017, the combination of a few things such as Sharath in getting the gold medals, etc., Commonwealth, the combination of that has started to really make table tennis explode in India.
Yeah,
which is
it
amazing.
has.
Amazing.
It's just that we're not sort of able to put it into, real proportion right now. It's not out there as much as it should be. But, I mean, the performances of the players from 2017 to today have just dramatically changed. I mean, 3 women have beaten Chinese opponents.
It's incredible.
Yeah, we really wanted Shrija to do this. Aika, both of them have beaten Chinese opponents. Manika, so I mean that just speaks volumes.
Not just the Chinese opponents, the very best Chinese
top
opponents.
ones, the top.
Yes.
Two Olympic finalists as well.
Yeah.
Sun Ying Shah and Cheng Meng both been beaten by Indian women players, which is crazy.
Yeah. So I mean that's the goal. That's why we started UTT. That's why they started UTT in 2017, just to take table tennis to top in India. Yeah.
I think just following on from that point, I think a lot of countries around the world will be looking at that model and thinking that is a very good model to build internally your own national identity and team and bring that level up.
Yeah.
Very true. Because by creating that league, you have it gives a goal for kids and something to aim for.
And again, you often when we think of that, if you want to build your own team, you think insular, right? We want them training with each other, but actually bring in this top talent in so that they can
nurture the ones you have, right? Yeah.
And it's twofold, right? You act like a sponge around them, so your team members are growing there, but also they bring publicity with them. They bring followers, they bring cameras, which is then even better for
boost
everyone.
the whole level of everything going on.
I was going to ask, I've been enjoying a lot of your social media content because it's fun. The amount of times the guys are smiling, they're laughing, which actually I don't think we see enough of in table tennis. I think a lot of these guys are hilarious.
Yeah.
They're all fun, but a lot of the kind of montages that you see of them are them cracking balls and they're really ultra focused. Is that something you've been like strategically trying to do? Is create fun content of them?
Yes, that is something that we do across the board. And I think social media, people go onto social media to sort of wind up their days usually. So you want to see people smiling. You want to see something that sort of is heartwarming in some sense. Table tennis players, from what I've seen over the last 3-4 years, they're a little shy. It takes them a little to come out of their shell. So we try to do our best, especially in the first 3 days when we're doing their brand shoot. We'll ask them to dance a little bit. So then the next 15 days get easier for us.
It's a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we've made everyone dance. In fact, I know players come in to the brand shoot and I'm not dancing. I'm not dancing. You make him dance this year, make her dance this year, but we made everyone dance.
Because that's what I would say. I'm like, I ain't dancing, guys. Come on.
Oh, before you know it, you were dancing in the UTT match in the crowd, though.
Yeah, that's because of the UTT. You've got to be energied up.
Even Bernadette said that. She said, I was playing a match, guys, and I looked up to the crowd, and you guys, all I kept seeing was you guys dancing in the crowd, having a great time. So, yeah, it just shows the energy in the building.
We need to get a broadcast video of that, because I know the guy had the camera on us at one point.
And again, that's how good is that though? That Bernie, while she's playing, she's that close to the crowd that
Yeah,
she can
yeah.
see someone dancing.
She can see us crazy guys in the crowd dancing. Yeah.
So brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So next year, I mean, just to wind up, maybe next year you guys come two-pronged, commentate, create content, and then do some nice dancing in the crowd. for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
As soon as like the first day I arrive here, Sarthak's going to get me dancing. I
Yeah,
know it.
open him up, icebreaker, dance dancing.
You know, in America when they have dance cam and it comes up on the big screen,
Yes.
that's what it's going to be.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Dance
Yeah, that could be a
cam.
cool thing.
Yeah. We tried that. No one, I mean, you guys are the only guys who dance.
Oh, okay. We're back again next year
They
then.
definitely need us back next year then.
We can practice.
Yeah.
Sarthak,
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Thank you very much. It's been amazing. Thanks just for all the organising and everything you've done for us. So yeah, amazing time here at UTT. So
Yeah.
appreciate everything.
It's going to go from strength to strength. There's no way it can't. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. And hopefully we'll see you all year after year.
Let's do
Awesome.
it. Thanks
you.
so much.
Thank you.
See you
Cheers,
soon,
guys.
guys.
Cheers.